Hey everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the Knoxville Business Show. Hey everyone, it's Jason Deal with the Knoxville Business Show, and welcome to today's show. We're so pleased to have Tracy Taylor with us this morning. Hey Tracy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, doing just fine. Trying to figure out what normal is, quite frankly, with COVID and everything else.
Yeah, new life, new normal, new business, but we still have to
Yeah,
keep positive. So let's do that.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And Tracy, just so you know, on the show, we have viewers that are both B2B and B2C clients. I mean, we have just about everything. Lots of different people watch the show from just the consumer side and also, of course, the business side, as I said. So tell us, first of all, just a little bit about Tracy. Like, where are you from? You got family? Tell us
Yeah,
about
yeah. So Tennessee girl, born in Nashville moons ago. Have lived in Seymour since 2011. So that's where the business is originated. Probably 2010, really. But married, great guy, great husband. I made a really good catch on that one. And together we have three kids. So we have a 21-year-old who is married, which is a whole nother avenue to say. We have a 20-year-old, and then we have a 15-year-old. So as far as pets, we have a dog that we adopted from KPD upon his retirement and had him about a year, and he was having a little bit of trouble. So he has a kitten. So we're kind of a well-rounded house.
awesome. Yeah. So that's really cool. So are you still in Seymour now?
Still in Seymour.
Okay. So pretty much stayed in Seymour your entire adult life and childhood, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, childhood. So I was raised actually in Charlotte, North Carolina. And with some things that happened in early adulthood, I wanted to be between my parents. So between Nashville and Charlotte, and Knoxville area was kind of where I landed. And then, it took a couple of years, but then Seymour has been home since, I guess, really about 2010.
Gotcha. Seymour's a kind of a neat little area. I've been there
Yeah.
several times, just kind of traversing in and out with other clients and things of that sort. But I think it's a neat little area. So I mentioned the COVID thing. How have you guys adapted and adjusted as a family? I mean, how many you got into school right now? You got one or two in school?
Zero, because yes. So we have a 21-year-old who is married. Well, she's actually in college. She's at TCAT. So we have had to deal with that. But because she's married, she's got her own house, and they're doing their own thing through COVID. Um, but as far as our 20-year-old, he works for ERC with hazmat cleanup. So he's just had life as normal. My husband has had tons of work because he works for TEMA, so Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, and they've had COVID, they've had tornadoes, they've had more COVID, they've had lots of things, and they're just now picking back up with teaching and helping their counties with things that they need. So his daughter is our youngest, and she lives with her mom out of state. So we have not had the impact of the school thing. But with that being said, we have tons of friends who are, and I'm grateful that we're not in that season right now, because I would lose it.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
We're a family here, and we've got several staff members. Same.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. Like, how do you balance being a teacher now? Congratulations, you've been promoted to a
Right,
teacher.
right.
To maintaining a business, if you're a business owner, if you run the business, or just your work life.
Just if you work. Well, some people right now, I feel like, are going to, they're going to have a new appreciation for teachers. I think some folks are going to roll over into the homeschool life. And I think for some people through COVID, and I've seen it happen, that they may have a little entrepreneur spirit, and they're going to dive into that because they don't know what the future holds. And so they need to be flexible for kids. I mean, we have friends who have kids who have, certain disabilities or challenges, let's just say a daily challenge. And for those kids, This time is never, it's awful because those kids are the ones that need the structure. They need the socialization. They need certain things, and kids are upset and parents are getting frustrated with kids, but you have to step back and say, wait a minute. If I'm this frustrated as an adult, kids are frustrated because they don't get to go see their friends. They don't get to get out of the house. They're not getting to play sports. And if you have a child like our 20-year-old who was diagnosed with ADHD, the best thing we could do for him was not medication. It was sports.
Mhm.
It was wrestling. It was football, because ADHD means that my kid has 3 times the energy that the normal kid has. So what do? You find an outlet for the energy.
Yeah.
And without that, I'm telling you, I would be in a loony bin. So
Yeah.
I feel bad for parents, and they're going to have to create what works for them. And there's no judgment, and there's extra grace. That is, and phone a friend, I guess, would be a good thing.
100%. And, and with our clients, we have to understand that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of clients, let's talk a little bit about, as you, I think you know that I own and operate JD's Realty and Auction,
Yes.
and I am our marketing guy
Right.
here. I have been, I've got an MBA, and I kind of specialize in marketing. I've just always really enjoyed marketing. And, you and I have not personally met, but
Mhm.
we kind of socially met online a couple of times, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Found out that you have TNT marketing, and tell us a little bit about, first of all, what does that mean? What does that business do?
Okay. So it's really simple. TNT marketing is where business and social collide in the online world. And what that means is I work with clients to help them stay active in their online communities, because that's essentially what your online marketing is. Facebook is a community, LinkedIn is a community, Twitter is a community, Instagram is a community. If you deal with Snapchat, that's another community. Now we have TikTok coming up. You have YouTube, you have the webinar avenue. So I work with business owners specifically to help them stay social and active in their online communities, to create additional engagement, to help them with reach, to help them with getting connections and making sales to people that they never knew were possible. And all of that is done from my little office in Seymour, or if I'm home for the day, from, my Mac or whatever I want to do. And I got started, really kind of fell into it. Honestly, I've worked with marketing companies before, and I was going around trying to sell what they were offering. And I had people say, do you know anybody that would just do social media for me?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Hello? Yes, me. So we literally, my husband was at work one night, and I texted him and said, this is how my day's gone. I'm sitting here thinking we probably need to start a business. And he goes, oh my gosh, how much is it going to cost? I said, according to research, $15 on a business license. And so the next day, here we went. And October 13th, we'll be 7 years old.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. Having a dream, understanding that there's a need.
Yep.
And then can you feel that need?
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you obviously get this, but the number one thing that I see that business owners struggle with is being able to evolve. And let me break it down a little bit more. And I'm going to use the auction industry as an example. Auctioneers forever wrote really good ad copy and put it in the newspaper. Right?
Yep.
They just understood that. They got it.
Yep.
What they had a hard time doing, though, was evolving and understanding that same ad copy that was in the newspaper needs to evolve into some sort of social platform, because guess what? That's where all the viewers' eyeballs went.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, Tracy, we're all competing for this same thing, and that's the number one thing we're all trying to do, and that's get attention.
Yep.
Period. And that's kind of what I'm hearing you say that TNT marketing is really good at.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you teach yourself? Did you teach yourself? Did you go to school? Did you, because at school, man, I'm going to tell you, they don't really teach a whole lot about social media marketing.
No, I'm a self-taught girl. One of the things that happened to me that really made me realize the power of social media was the company I worked for previous to having my business was behind the phone in a cubicle, and it was sales. It was sales for marketing programs. And I would call and leave messages, and you don't get a call back. Or if you get a hold of them, the first thing they started saying is, well, I don't see you on LinkedIn, or I don't see you on here. And so I don't know, I did it a couple months, and I got kind of frustrated one day, and I said, okay, fine. So I went home, and over the weekend, I created this profile. Had no idea what I was doing with it. No clue. Well, I made that to where every Friday I would go through my notebook and say, okay, this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person, I didn't get a hold of them. So I would connect with them on LinkedIn and my message, because if you know, you have a better chance at getting somebody to connect with you when you leave that little message instead of just the generic, hey, I want to add you to my professional network. I would send them a message on there and say, I left you a voicemail. I look forward to speaking to you next week. And I would put my name and my office phone number. Well, then I would also send an email to them. And in the email, the subject line was, I left you a voicemail. And my callback ratio went through the roof, and the owner of our company asked me what I was doing. And that's the only change that I made.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Awesome.
That is so cool, because what you figured out is something that you hit it multiple times, and you just said, hey, I'm leaving your voicemails. Just want to connect with you. They see that 3 times, like, oh, okay, let me call this girl back. She's pretty persistent here.
Yep. And that's what it is. It's being persistent. It's being, it's not being salesy, because really at the end of the day, when you're connecting with somebody online, maybe it is for a sales call, it doesn't matter. The end of the thing is, you want to learn more about their business, and you want to see if you can help them in any way, or if you have a contact that they're looking for to help their business. And once they realize that, it's just a relationship that you have to build. And that's what it is. If you build the relationships first online, you can sit back and honestly watch what happens. I get phone calls, I get emails every week. And one of the common denominators that I hear among people is, I've been watching you forever. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's kind of weird. But then I go back and say, wait a minute, I've been connected with them on here since like 2015 or, before. And that's literally what they do. And they know when they're ready, they call me and we figure out what they need.
100%. I'm gonna tell you, we get clients the same thing. Like, hey, we've been following you guys forever.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to sell stuff. Like, wait, what do you mean you've been following me?
Right.
But yeah, that is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we do.
Yeah.
We all have people that we follow and kind of pay attention to. So I want to shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
There's 1,000 things, especially you and I could talk about with marketers, as marketers here. 1,000, we could talk for hours, but unfortunately we don't have hours.
No.
I want to talk about TikTok though, because TikTok is hot right now. And now I want to give you my perspective, and I'd love to hear your perspective. So my perspective is, TikTok is a lot like what Facebook used to be, when a lot of people said it's for 13 to 15-year-old girls. Right. It's not for our company. There's no way we can sell antiques, or we can sell real estate, or we can do this, we can do that on Facebook, because it's just for the kids.
Right.
But what happened is the population that was using that platform aged with that platform. Mm-hmm. And guess what's happening with TikTok? In my opinion, the same thing is happening, except COVID accelerated it extremely fast. And suddenly we have middle-aged people exploring TikTok because they were at home with watching their kids.
Right.
So TikTok just rolled out their new ad campaign, their ad campaign, but the ability to do paid advertisements. I just signed up for it 2 days ago. I don't know if you guys have signed up for it yet.
No, not yet. We'll be looking.
Well, yeah. So check it out. I don't know if it was just random. They sent it out to a couple of members. I have no idea. But anyway, so everything's been organic, right? Up until this point, and now, which we all knew was coming, they want to monetize that. So, talk to me about your thoughts. If I am a landscaper watching right now, I guarantee you we have a landscaping company watching
somewhere. Yes.
Should TikTok?
I mean, I'm going to tell you this: find your audience. That's the exact conversation I'm going to have with you. If you know your audience because they're parents of younger children and they're going to be on TikTok, then probably yes, you need to be on there. I don't have time to do that for me because I'm doing my stuff for my business and I'm working with X number of clients trying to take care of everybody else on that. So it really depends on where you're at. I think TikTok could be awesome for landscaping. And I can tell you that because my dad used to have a lawn service. And I can think back now of all the funny things that we could be doing on TikTok through, the mower or the weed eater or landscaping. And you can be showing your stories and doing fun stuff, have your guys dancing or doing something else, whatever you want to do. But you really have to see at the end of the day, especially if you're doing it by yourself, time is money. And you have to think of money-making activities, and you have to figure out in your calendar, if I devote this much time, because TikTok, I'm going to tell you, it will suck you in, and you will never get out of it. And that's the same thing with all social media. So, really pay attention to where your people are. I mean, have fun with it, of course, but it's don't spend time there if that's not where your people are.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the beautiful thing about, for example, right now, TikTok is the organic reach is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great.
It is just absolutely phenomenal. And to your point, time is money. So you got to really understand. And after you post that video, you can't sit here and just keep looking at all these other 50.
It will suck you in like a world of the ocean. It's crazy. And, people laugh at me because I own a business that does social media. Like literally social media is what pays, runs the company, helps me provide, additionally with my family. But I can get sucked in. And I'm like, I'm literally on this thing all day long. I have one platform pulled up on this computer and one over here, and I have my phone going over here. And if I go home, I do this, and I still can get sucked in. So I can't imagine somebody who is not in it all day and then you go and catch up every night. I mean, my thing at night before, like after we wind down is I go through Instagram and find Leslie Jordan videos and I watch Leslie Jordan and sit there and just cackle. But there's a time limit. There's only one or two. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done with you. You got to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah, oh, for sure. And then the beautiful thing is we've got podcasts. Obviously, we're on one right now, and you can just pop those on in the car driving down the road. I mean, I'm a big Gary Vee guy, so I'm always listening to him, or if I get a chance, I'm watching. I think it's called Hot Ones on YouTube. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. It's where they bring celebrities in and they have like 10 hot wings that they've got to eat and he asks them questions.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a Will Ferrell fan, you got to watch that episode. Okay. Hot Wings, I'll send you an invoice after this for promoting your show. But no, it's just, you got to control it.
Yeah. Yes. I know one of the things that shocks me, I don't know if anybody pays attention to it, but if you have an iPhone, and I hope that you do because Apple and iPhones are life, so we can send Apple an invoice for this too. But Apple sends us a thing every Sunday that says your screen time for the week. And sometimes I want to turn it down and say, you're lying to me. But I know it's not because I'm on it all the time. But still, that is very shocking to me. When you send me a thing that says your average screen time is 8+ hours a day, and I'm going, how does that happen? I'm also at my desk. Right. On computers. So how does this happen? That can tell you just how much you get sucked into everything.
Yeah, for sure. So Tracy, if you got some advice, for me, for our company, we have, I'll tell you, we've kind of left the realm of being an auction company and tried to turn this thing into a media company.
Right.
Because we consider content king. Mm-hmm. And that is what we've really been pushing. I guess since January, February, even though we're about a 6-year-old company, we've only kind of transitioned in that in the last few months.
Right.
What kind of guidance, what kind of advice would you give a company right now that maybe they're comfortable, maybe they have, they have sales going on right now, but they want to expand, they want to get more customers, and they'd like to increase volume and certainly cash flow. what's one of the things that they could do today, something that's simple, something they could start implementing today?
So a couple things. One is, if you don't know, I do free brainstorming sessions to give all of that advice to a company where they can ask questions and pick my brain. So all you have to do is go to my website, click on the calendar, schedule a 20-minute consult. If it goes a little bit longer, that's fine. But as far as telling people through the podcast, here's what I'm going to tell them. Same thing I've said forever and ever, amen. The same thing we've really honed in since COVID. And it is, be more, depending on your company, you need to be more active on LinkedIn, because there is a ton of business on LinkedIn. I will tell you that across Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all the platforms, you need to post. You need to post often. And you need to do the 70-30 rule. It used to be 80-20. I kind of like 70-30 for myself and my clients, but that is 70% of the stuff you put up there has absolutely zero bones to do about your business. So it's a fun question. It's a testimonial. Different things, testimonials are about your business, but it's not you selling. And so you want to put photos, you want to do holiday things, you want to do days of the week things, you want to promote, especially if you're not doing a podcast or a webinar. I know Tessa and I do a weekly webinar on Wednesdays. So that's new content. You do need to make video. You need to do lives. You need to share the who, the what, the why, and the passion about you as the business owner behind the business. And right now, you cannot post too much because your audience is online. And as I've said forever, and it really hit home with COVID, the internet has no business hours. So you have people that will be finding you, your personal brand and your business brand from all over the country, if not globally. And you need to be out there. You think about it. People say, I'm going to post. I don't want to post too much. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Okay. Well, if you post 6 times a day, that's every 4 hours. It goes 24 hours. The internet has no business hours. Your business has to be 24 hours online, and you have to create that.
No, I don't mean to interrupt you, but to your point, one of our most active times that we have for our company on Facebook is at 9:20.
Yep.
I don't know why 9:20, but you know how to track that. You can see what your most active times are.
Yep.
9:20, for whatever reason, I think that's about when the kids go to bed, maybe.
Exactly
and
right.
Then, when parents are sitting back and they're like, okay, let me hop on here and see what's going on.
Yes.
So yeah. And do a shout out real quick for your podcast. I think it's at 11. Is that what time?
It's 11 on Wednesdays. You can find it through my Facebook page, TNT Marketing, or you can find it through Tessa's with Ashford Virtual Solutions. And we also put it on, which actually I just said she's changed. She's Ashford Digital now. You can also find it through the Small Business Owners of Knoxville page, because we stream it there as well.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, I said 20 minutes from the very beginning, but I asked for your time. We've already went 3 minutes over, so forgive me for that. But I'm going to give you the final closing comments.
You're good.
Anything that you want to leave our viewers with? Number one, how can they get up with you? And then anything that you want to leave them with? I
just want, embrace social and enjoy it. And it kind of goes along with the thing of nothing grows in your comfort zone. So if social media for you as a business owner is outside of your comfort zone, step inside of it, embrace that box, and watch what happens. If you would like to get a hold of me, my website is very easy. It's tntmarketing.guru. And there's a link to my calendar there. You can chat with me. Of course, I'm on Facebook. I am on Instagram and LinkedIn. And I'd love to connect with anybody who has listened or watched this podcast today and be able to help them grow their business in the next 90 days. Awesome. Tracy, thank you so much for being with us. Have fun. Hope we have a good day today. And we appreciate you being on the Knoxville Business Show. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.